Okay, so what's going on, guys? Back at it again with another vlog. We have vlog discussion number 10, and we are going over Rhetorical Act Chapter 8, Challenges Arising from the Audience, and Reading Pop Culture Chapter 3, Technology, How New Devices and Apps Transform the Experience. So, basically, with Chapter 8, Challenges Arising from the Audience, it's discussing and going over the audience that you're kind of targeting whenever you're like making a speech or writing or anything of that. You're always kind of having that targeted audience to either influence, empower, or just anyone that you're trying to like reach out to. So it basically goes over like agents of change and like how like the differences between empirical audience and created audience, and describing the misperception and misinterpretation. um and yeah, so it gives us like a good example of uh Barack Obama's speech on Father's Day address, and it goes over like the kind of the critique of it, and it's a really good like analysis of how he broke down like the audience that he's trying to target, and the purpose of what he's talking about in relation to that, like how he's targeting like specific audiences. And it basically just goes over um like kind of like your persona that you're taking on through like your speech or your writing, as well as like the tone that you're taking, and how that relates to the impact that you're trying to have on your audience. And then going on to Reading Pop Culture Chapter 3, it kind of goes hand in hand with this, as these three authors of these essays. So Saul, Wall of Sound, The iPod Has Changed the Way We Listen to Music, Postman's The Judgment of the Thames, and Shirky, Gin, Television, and Social Surplus. So within Nick Saval's essay, Wall of Sound, The iPod Has Changed the Way We Listen to Music, he basically goes into how music has evolved within our culture, and how the ease of access to it has kind of changed the dynamic of what it was intended, like how it was intended to be listened to and how it is listened to now. It's pretty interesting in the idea of, at first, like it was supposed to be like a group setting and like a way for us to create community and appreciation for the art, and how it's kind of leaned into like a lesser of that just because of the ease of access to it. We can just listen to it from anywhere, so we kind of diverge away from like going to concerts and stuff like that. But I kind of like reiterated that there are like a lot of festivals and concerts that celebrate like that communal appreciation for the art. So that was kind of like back off that. Within the next essay, we have Neil Postman's essay, The Judgment of Thames. And he expresses how technology has taken over our culture and kind of led to a reliance on it, obviously. And how like this mass industrialization of technology has kind of led to negative events that kind of weren't accounted for, and just kind of warns us to be mindful about it and to kind of like predict these future outcomes like with these advancements. Next, going into Jin's Television and Social Surplus, written by Clay Shirkley, he discusses the idea of the cognitive surplus in relation to advancements within our technology, and how that's kind of changed over the generations, and each advancements when technology relate to its generation. So cognitive surplus is basically talking about leading to like our efficiency and how productive we have become, or how productive we spend or efficiently we spend our time. And he kind of uses like Wikipedia for like a really good example. How I'm sorry. Yeah, he kind of uses Wikipedia as an example as to like how we've kind of built that productivity with our cognitive surplus with the advancements. Like we have Wikipedia and we can look up anything, and like anyone can kind of go into that. And then going into Jennifer Blair's Love the One You're Near. She speaks about like the new age of like online dating and how it's kind of changed the entire dynamic of how we interact with one another in that kind of setting, and how the negatives and positives to it. And yeah, so for this week it was a pretty interesting readings. Kind of going over like a lot of technology and how it's kind of changed our culture and the dynamic of how we do things. And yeah, awesome.